Good afternoon, everybody. All right, so I'm going to give you my disclaimer first. This is my daughter, not my sister. She's going to be performing with me today, and this is also her first time. And I am very much a mama bear, so even if you don't like it, clap, okay? All right. Now, this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became
the Voices of Bel Air.
See, I used to be one of those people, you know, the ones who would say everything isn't about race, the ones who believed hard work could outpace history, the ones raised by immigrant parents who didn't have the luxury of excuses, only grit, sacrifice, and survival. I believed in accountability. I believed in staying out of trouble. I believed that if you did everything right, everything would go right.
And then 2013 said, Q, let's see what happens when hope meets history. Hey, baby on board. Well, technically, baby under construction. Everybody thinks I'm the reason our lives got twisted upside down. Not because of what I was, but because of who I would become. Yeah, I know that flew over a couple of heads. Don't worry, I'll circle back. I remember that hot July Sunday. Remember is might be a stretch. But let's just say the womb has excellent acoustics. And it was a lot like today. The melodies of melanin and unjaded joy. Well, at least for a while. See, my first address was a one-bedroom, waterfront property, utilities included, room service on demand, and the landlord was amazing. But the neighborhood watch started even before I moved in. Then eviction day came. I thought I was just moving neighborhoods. Nobody told me I would be moving history. See, I wasn't kicking. I was filing appeals. Every little kick was me saying, excuse me, I'd like to object before I get out there. Nobody listened. Typical. I hadn't even taken my first breath, and somehow people were already trying to write my life story. Imagine getting a stereotype before a birth certificate. I didn't even have fingerprints yet, and assumptions already had my signature. Mom thought she was carrying a baby. Turns out she was carrying a testimony. She thought labor would end with delivery. God knew it was just delivering a purpose. So, kind of like today, only 13 years ago. Stick with me because what started as her story became our story. And somewhere between her contractions and my first cry, God gave us a heartbeat, a voice, and a remix of history.
We were on the beach, black joy, barefoot, unapologetic.
The kind of joy that didn't recall where sand became sea or where fear disguised itself as indifference. To me, everything simply belonged together.
We were playing soccer.
Dangerous, I know. Sand, a ball, and melanin? Whew! Too much power in one place.
Well then came the whistle.
Not a call to safety, a call to shrink.
Are y'all stupid? He bellowed at us.
You all. Not people, not visitors.
Us. I chose peace. I walked away.
You folded fire into grace.
I finally found a moment of relief as I took my first bite of a chicken tender.
Every bite of that chicken tender found its way into my little world. And for one delicious moment, everything felt, well, tender.
Then, screams.
Then, silence.
As the officer forced my body into the sand, it wasn't the ground that violated me. It was the hands sworn to protect me. and the system that gave him permission. Then there was a darkness.
This wasn't my kind of dark. This one didn't hold me, it hid you from me.
I was shackled.
Handcuffed? They bound me to the hands that carried me, while minds were still learning what freedom would feel like. I mean, I hadn't even unclenched my fist and history was already reaching for my wrist.
No care, no concern.
Just chains.
Chains on wrists, chains on voice, chains on body, chains on choice. They put us in the furthest cell.
Out of sight.
Out of mind.
Out of humanity.
I screamed, I begged, I pleaded.
I pushed, I reached, I fought.
The buzzer was too high.
Even in crisis, help had a height requirement, and the system was still out of reach.
Which do you want?
Like we were an option, like we were an ultimatum.
Me or my baby?
No, me and my mama.
Not one, not the other, but both. They laughed.
Before I even arrived, they named me Les.
Monkey? Monster?
Funny how imagination works when it refuses to imagine humanity.
And then there was Kelly.
She sounded like Serenity.
She saw me.
She heard you.
She whispered, "You're safe now."
For the first time, we believed it might be true.
Your baby is fighting, but getting tired, she said.
I wasn't tired. I was listening.
I had one job.
So did I.
Fight.
Then the silence surrendered.
The heartbeat they almost never heard became the loudest sound in the room.
See, I thought labor was just what mom was doing. Turns out America had been in labor with this conversation for a long time. I entered the world, not as a whisper, but as a promise.
And in that moment, I heard her cry. I realized it wasn't just my daughter who had been born. It was my voice.
Then I became more than a heartbeat.
And I became more than a survivor.
I became proof
that love can still be born, even in a place built to break it.
Before anyone knew my name, my heartbeat had already became her voice. One heartbeat.
Two lives. One voice, one purpose, a fire no hatred could extinguish, and a love no dark couldn't silence. They said she would never
walk, speak, breathe.
But she
will run, will speak, will give back life to the one who gave it.
They tried to take my voice.
But I had to be heard.
They tried to silence me.
But I was already sound.
Not broken, not bruised, not erased.
Some stories burn.
Some stories heal.
Ours
did both. They thought the hardest part of our story was the fire they put us through.
But they were wrong.
The hardest thing about our story wasn't the hatred. It was the love that refused to cool.
Before I had voice,
she became mine.
Before I took my first breath,
she gave me every one of hers. They tried to stop a heartbeat, but a heartbeat became a voice, and a voice became a movement, because the hottest fires don't destroy purpose, they reveal it. The world may remember the heat that tried to break us, but we will always remember the fire that made us. Every heartbeat has a voice. Every voice deserves to be heard. Thank you.